knowing how to give other people what they need more than we know how to give what we need.
Absolutely.
I resonate with that so deeply because I've been that person for years.
Yeah, I'm still that person. I just try not to be.
On the day. Depends on the day.
Every great leader you admire, no matter how much success they show, has something they're still working through. Today, we're not talking about the version of them you already know. We're talking about the version they don't always show. The last 2 years of my life has been the most exhausting 2 years I've ever had. We're about a week away from 24 months of the day. My entire life blew up.
Yeah.
But not even by my own doing.
Yeah.
And I'm tired. I feel like I can just now barely see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I have been, it has been long.
Yeah.
And I have done everything that I know to do to stay faithful in what is in front of me. And I'm tired. Now, I'm not saying I wake up exhausted, and I'm not saying at noon I'm exhausted, and every night when I go to bed I'm exhausted, and so I feel a lack of energy. I'm saying that I believe I can have faith and trust and be obedient and be tired.
For sure.
And so I find an immense amount of peace in the belief that both things can be true at the same time. And adding additional value to either one is not directly related to the value that I give myself. And some days I am extra tired.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that I'm less valuable or that I trusted less or have less faith. And there are some days that I am very energized and maybe exerted the same amount of effort.
Yeah.
And I don't even know that on those days I would say that meant I had more faith or that God was with me any more or any less. I also could be wrong. I hear in you, we've now known each other for a total of 35 minutes, that hard work and effort and gusto and the ability to do the thing when I don't want to do the thing I always want, but I still want it, might be the greatest thing that God gave you.
For sure.
And your ability to show what is possible to other people, especially those who act like you, sound like you, look like you, see themselves in you. What an incredibly beautiful gift. Surely that gift is not wrong. And, maybe my favorite word in the English language, and sometimes we tend to make it more about us, and sometimes we don't. But the worth and the value and the identity that you carry as a human being, if in fact the belief is that you were made in the image and likeness of God, is not the very thing that makes you you, a reflection and a portion of God Himself. Therefore, should I get rid of the thing that makes me me? And if doing so, would I not, in a sense, be attempting to get rid of the thing that makes God Himself?
Yeah, that's good. I think I love that perspective of like me being disciplined and hardworking and all these things being a gift. I love that perspective. I think that's beautiful, honestly, to just like sit with. I think that, I know we're not using the word balance, but in this dance, of life, like
I like the word tension, by the way. That's the word I use for myself because I like you. I'm like, I can get into some tension.
Yeah,
I like a little conflict.
I love it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so like
dude.
that like helps me find a little piece of me that I'm like, wait a second, did you say you want to talk about a tension?
Yeah.
Say less. I love a good tension. So
Yeah.
in this tension we call life.
Yeah, you sounded like me earlier when you were like, how the last 2 years of your life and how you were saying that you're doing everything that you know to do in your efforts, with the Lord to do these things. And that's exactly how I am.
Mm.
I think sometimes when I wake up, I'm on go. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing all the things, right? I'm doing all the things that I know to do. But there are some times that I've been challenged to get rid of the whole to-do list. There's been days.
Don't disagree with you. Yes.
There's been days where I've been challenged, by the Holy Spirit to get rid of the whole list, to get rid of the whole calendar, and to just submit in that moment and to just spend time with Him uninterrupted, and to not put a timer on it and to just sit there in His presence. And there's been some times where that's turned into a whole day of us just being together and just kicking it like friends, honestly. And it's just been beautiful. Like maybe that day I just sat in His presence and I just prayed, and then I read my Bible, and then I was like, let's go for a walk and let's do this. And during that time of that rest with Him, He gave me ideas. And the most beautiful part about when I got depressed was that was the first time I've ever really rested. And I got rid of everything except for my in-person clients, and I actually rested. I let myself sleep in. I let myself have days where I did nothing. I let myself cook and not be rushing. I let myself rest. And during that time, He gave me ideas for my business. He gave me ideas on how to make content, because I was like, God, how am I supposed to make content now? Like, I've been making this worldly content. How am I supposed to make, content that reflects Your glory? He told me how. He gave me the blueprint on what I was to do moving forward, even for my organization, Faith and Fitness. He gave me all of those ideas in my quiet resting place with Him, to where when I went out, I was efficient, and I love to be efficient. And I realized sometimes that when I create the list and I'm like, you know what, I think I need to do this, and this. He challenges me, where sometimes that's great. And sometimes that will, you need marketing, you need ideas, you need all the things. But it's been cool because sometimes He's been challenging me where I know for me, that the more that I start to make to-do lists and calendars, the more I drift away with spending time with Him. And I understand that when I start to spend more time with Him, I move slower. But when I do move, it's more efficient and it does more.
Yeah, I hear you describing cadence.
Yeah. It's like I get ahead of Him. I try to get ahead of Him when I'm doing all the things that I know to do. But when I take that time to prioritize finding Him over finding myself, I find myself. It's beautiful how it happens, because if I try to go out in my own efforts and I try to go, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I do that for weeks on end, I notice I spend less time with Him. I read my Bible less. I'm more anxious. I go to sleep anxious. I wake up anxious. And I start to have this quickened, I guess, feeling inside of myself. And I notice that it drifts me away from those fruits of the Spirit. But whenever I prioritize our time together, the content I make is better. It reaches more people. He'll tell me what to post. The Holy Spirit will guide me into what do I need to share today. A lot of my videos came straight from the secret place with God. And those were the videos that really resonated with people. He's told me what books to read, and I end up sharing about the books, and people are now reading the books and they're resonating with what I'm saying. So it's really been challenging me. That's why I'm like, the two things can both exist at the same time. But what I have seen through my walk with Him in this past couple of years is I know how I can get. And I think a lot of people are anxious. I think a lot of people can't sleep at night. They're waking up anxious. They're waking up with their to-do list on their mind because they have forgotten how to surrender that thing to God every night before they go to bed, and to say, I did the best that I can, Lord, I give this to you. And in the morning, talking and spending time with God first. Your life would be so much different if you would just wake up and have some sort of a quiet, still time every morning with God. People that are not Christians, they do it in different ways. They might go to the gym. They might wake up and do a cold plunge. They might do different things, right? But it's still that stillness and starting your day with stillness. And I did not used to do that. I used to wake up and it's go time. It's go time. Yeah, we're finna get it today. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, is learning how to follow. Kind of how we talked about earlier, learning how to follow Him versus just coming out the gate sprinting and then being like, come on, catch up with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at, is like learning how to follow, learning how to chill. I'm not good at chilling. So
Yeah, and I greatly appreciate you sharing all of that. I think I would continue to encourage you to find the language that does resonate with you. And if you're not good at rest, call it something else. And I'm not trying to like mind trick us, but I think for a long time I made rest synonymous with inactivity. And I don't find rest in inactivity. I'm not talking about the hustle bustle. I find a lot of rest in picking up random sticks in my yard. I find a lot of rest in washing the sidewalk. I find a lot of rest in trimming that one bush up by the corner that always grows into the other bush. I find a lot of rest in being out and just walking around the yard. I find a lot of rest in being outside with my family. I find a lot of rarely, not impossible, rarely do I find rest in inactivity. Now that's me. I'm not making a statement about any other human being. But for a long time, it was really difficult for me to allow myself to discover what I have found when I'm washing the sidewalk, because I was using everybody else's language. Well, I was told my whole life that rest meant being on the couch. That rest meant watching Netflix. That rest meant sitting in a chair in the quiet by myself. I find it immensely restful if I have really close friends come over for dinner. I am absolutely invigorated and energized when they leave. I feel like I slept 5 days in a row. It's immensely restful for me. Now, am I always good at that? No. Do I still like to do what I want to do? Yes. Do I still sometimes hope that somebody recognizes me when I work hard? Yes. Let's be very clear about my humanity. I have just heard you with a really 2 to 3 steps in. You're very clear. Like, she got it. She gets it. She is doing the damn thing every day. She's understanding. Okay. And I also hear when you come back to the other side, you find yourself still wrestling with a language that doesn't match your definition. And so as an encouragement, not as a fix, I don't think anything's broken, but very clear. I don't think any human. So if rest isn't the word, maybe there's a different rest. If striving isn't the word, maybe there's a different word. If the words have historically been at odds, maybe we should find the words that are friends. Maybe there's different words to describe you.
When I was working 7 days a week, I was so detached from the nurturing side of myself. It's something that happens, I feel like, to women. You know, when we're doing a lot, it feels good to create great things. It feels good to have a business. It feels good to see results, for sure. But it also feels good to nurture your space, to be able to be still with somebody and be present. You know?
And I was going to say, when it comes to nurturing, who in that period of striving, who was the one person you weren't nurturing?
I think myself in some aspects. And I also think my friends too, because I wasn't the best friend at that time. Like, honestly, like I wasn't ever still and just taking up space for my friends because I was spinning my wheels all the time up here. Yeah. So like so whenever I like I hit my financial goal, I always say that's the most loneliest I ever felt, because I assumed that when I got there that I was going to have all these friends and all these things, and I looked up and all the time that I had spent grinding, I should have been on FaceTime with my girls. I should have been checking, hey, how was this situation you told me about? Following up with them. I wasn't doing that. And so I wasn't nurturing really anything. Like, I wasn't the best daughter. I wasn't the best sister. Like, there's so many places and people that needed that aspect of me that was gone because I was fully in that mode. And so I think kind of making that switch and like opening myself up to being more nurturing and to being still more so. Because I will say that resting to me is stillness. It's like when I can just hold space for just you in this moment versus being somewhere mentally here, somewhere here, like I'm fully present. I wasn't fully present.
Okay. I love that, because that's not what you said in the beginning. And so I love the clarity to go, wait, I think when I say rest, I mean stillness. And when I mean stillness, I actually mean presence. And when I mean presence, I mean mentally, I am here, not believing that I must be someplace else to be valuable. Your mind was someplace other.
For sure.
Because that was the place where you could achieve and be worthy.
Facts.
But if I was here and only here, am I doing anything that anybody else believes is going to be worthy?
Ooh, that's it. That's it. Yes, for sure. I know that you're right, because performance is definitely something that I struggle with attaching value to.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
attaching singular value to, because it is valuable. It is valuable. Performance is valuable.
Yeah.
To throw that away would mean that any active thing we do for the benefit of somebody else would be worthless. And that's not true.
You're right.
Right? Like,
Singular, I like that.
Yeah. It's not singular value. It is a portion of value.
Yeah.
Just like faith, a portion of faith is to get your shit together and go do something and stop telling me you think God's going to save you and rescue you from the fact that you don't move. No, that's not how it works.
You got to do both.
Get up. Also, running every day, chasing something that wasn't yours under the belief that you think you can do it alone probably is not going to work out well for you either.
Yeah.
So it's additive.
Yeah.
Your performance is important.
Yeah.
To tell you otherwise, I think would be foolish.
True.
Your performance being singular such that you can't be with me.
Yeah.
Because if you're not performing, you have no value while you're here. No.
You have no value while you're here. I like that.
I believe you are as worthy sitting in this chair not moving your body as you are with 17 clients helping them change their lives. Your value is the same. You're currently given the value of your presence. There, you give value of performance. And both exist at the exact same time. One is not taking away from the other if we believe they both exist. Just as my doubt does not negate my faith, nor does my faith remove my doubt. They exist together. Because the only thing that makes either one of them unnecessary is certainty. And there is very little in life that I am certain of.
True.
But there is much that I believe. And there is much that I will do in action towards that belief.
I love that. I think a lot of people are struggling with that. I think a lot of people are struggling with value being one thing at a time.
I agree.
Versus it being kind of across the board.
I could not agree with you more.
Because I've never explored that thought. Like I've never, it's so simple, but I've never explored it.
I agree. And I think most of us don't. Me too, by the way.
Yeah.
Because we want to be right.
Yeah. We want to be on point all the time. And so when you're not, it's just that space of being like, because again, the results. So.
And you told me before we hit record that in the last 6 months, the places where you have felt the most connection, where you have reached the most people, where you have felt the most dialed in, where you have created the greatest impact in the lives of others, is where you showed up and you decided to be real. Some days real is 3:15 crushing, and some days real is your girl made it to the gym, but I'm going to sit here next to the chalk and we're going to talk instead. And both of those are real, and both of those are valuable, and both of those are actually what make you a human.
It's crazy because I'm such a big advocate for authenticity and for being real and being vulnerable, but at the same time struggled with value. Because it does feel very performative. And like, just to give you context on why I think this way, is I grew up overweight. And I always talk about this because it's such a unique experience that nobody talks about. When you grow up a heavier person, people almost treat you like you're not a person, like you're not even in the room. Right? And so you grow up naive. You grow up with faith. Kids have faith, childlike faith, right? So you believe that all these good things are going to happen to you. And when you live in that reality, they don't. They don't. Not at the rate even close to anybody else. And so living that experience is very unique because you either learn to become super calloused and you're super confident and you're like, you're not going to tell me nothing, or you really give into people pleasing. You just see the two happening. And I think for me, it told me no one is coming to save you. And I fully believe that, which is why I turned into that hustler because I was like, you know what? This is my reality. no one's going to save me. And I love the gym for that because the gym was something that was certain. And the gym was something that was always there in the same exact way. And I knew that if I went there, something good was going to happen. So I started to find comfort in certainty. And that's kind of where it birthed. And I knew that if I was grinding and I was making more money, that's certainty. You know, having this amount of money in the account is certainty. And so I started to find identity in these little things, and my brain just started clicking, where I started to build this identity of, you know what? Consistency is something that I value. Hard work. If you say you're going to do it, do it. And don't whine about it. I don't want to listen to you complain about it. I want to see you do it. And I became that person because that was so much of who I was. And just to get saved and the Lord to be like, hey, so actually you could trust me the whole time. You were never supposed to trust humans. You know, and it was just like this kind of whoa moment where I was like, oh, you did. You are coming to save me. But I also need to understand, like we talked about earlier, the faith and the works. So now I've been navigating that space after so many years of almost like building up this discipline and callous to be this person that could hustle the way that I did. And so that's kind of where the seed was planted of performance. And I think that it can happen to other people with different upbringings too.
100%.
But that's where it was planted.
Yeah. I greatly appreciate you sharing that. And two, I heard you describe that every one of us have a decision that we're either going to choose to take our past pain and use it as a mechanism to protect ourselves, i.e., you can't outwork me.
I used to say that all the time.
Or we're going to use it as a mechanism to propel ourselves.
Yeah.
Meaning that I'm not going to get rid of what makes me me. I'm just going to stop using it in a way that only serves me.
I think I'm there now.
I agree.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, then both identity and performance must be friends.
Yeah.
And hard work and value must be friends. And your worth in this chair being synonymous with your work, your worth with a client must be there.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
That one does not take away from the other. One actually only makes the other more true. Your clients choose you because they know that you work hard. And you work hard because you know your clients choose you. And in both of those, you believe all of that, plus the plus sign in our equation, faith, means that you might get to do something bigger, more impactful, longer lasting, through a legacy where the people that come after you will have opportunity because you were willing to show up and do things other people were not.
Yeah.
So let's continue to add faith to our performance. And let's continue to perform because of our faith. And let them be friends.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that that's where I'm at right now. I think I'm in that space of, of value being across the board and understanding my value outside of performance. That's been a walk with the Lord. That's something that he's been having to show me through people, through experiencing and honestly with time with him. It's just who I am and what do I bring. I hate that question, what do you bring to the table, so much. But essentially that question.
Yeah. Because of who you are, you are at the table. There is no need to bring anything. Because I sat in my chair at the table where I belonged.
Yeah.
And that's what I bring. Me. Not in the selfish, I'm so good, better than you. No. In a way that I was told that there is no one in the world like me. Because I'm a small portion of something I can't even fully understand with my human brain.
Yeah.
Therefore, surely my presence at the table is worthwhile.
Elaborate on me. And I say that because that's a question that a lot of women, maybe even men too, are battling. Because that's a question that we're being asked a lot is, what do you bring to the table? And it gets reduced to these roles. Like for men, it's being a provider, being this. For women, it's being cooking and cleaning, all these things, right?
I just think we have the equation backwards. I think we're asking the wrong question.
Yeah, I hate that question. Yeah. And I just think that there's things that you bring to the table you can't even put into words almost sometimes.
Right. And I would even say in that context, why are you so concerned with what I bring to the table?
Yeah, it's very transactional.
Why don't you just show up with what you bring and I'll show up with mine? And if we decide we like it, then we can be in a relationship.
And I think people are searching for their answer to that question. I think a lot of women are like, what do I bring to the table?
And I think we're often searching for the answer because we want to give something beautiful to somebody else. We're not searching for the answer because we want to look at ourselves in the mirror and feel like we have a good answer.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of women think that accolades is how you answer that question. Like, oh, I have this, I do this, I'm a good cook, I'm this. And I think that that's where we're looking. And that's why I love what you said about me.
Mm-hmm. Go back home to your place of rest. Be present with yourself. Look into the mirror, into your own eyes, and write down what you see. If you believe that is worthy and valuable, then you have answered your own question.
What if they don't?
It's time to get to work. Therapy is hard.
It is.
Counseling is hard.
It is.
Getting a coach is hard.
Yeah.
Working out is hard. Lifting weights is hard. Changing your behavior is hard.
True.
And I'm going to be careful what I say here because I'm not attempting to blow anybody's worldview up if they're listening to this show. What I'm about to say is not a statement about what I believe God is not or not capable of. That is not the question you asked me, so therefore that my answer is not reflective of that.
Okay.
If you want to change your life, change your life. Do something different. Now, if somebody wants to relate that to faith and their belief and them being saved and them being a Christian and being, okay, there's a whole other place you can go to get up and go someplace. If you're hearing this, you're probably you can get up and go someplace if that's the action you want to change. That's not my state. It's not the case I am making.
Yes.
But don't tell me that you want to get healthy and then you change nothing about your life. No,
True.
You don't.
True.
You don't. You have an aspiration. You have an aspiration to become something different that you are unwilling to do anything for. So you don't want that. You like to talk about it. So I ask people all the time, what do you want?
Yeah.
Well, you know what the best answer I've ever heard is? I don't know. I agree. Because the greatest clarity we find is the first step we take after I don't know.
Yes.
But if we're unwilling to admit that, then I cannot help you because I don't know where even to tell you to begin.
True.
So,
True.
If you want to be different, be different. What does the work look like? It looks like it's hard, and it is a part of performance, and that means that you got to get up, you got to go somewhere, you got to do something. Now, if you're going to therapy so you can say you went to therapy, so you can tell your friends you're in therapy, so you can get online up on your Tinder profile that you enjoy therapy, okay, that's a performative.
Yes.
But that is not performing.
For sure.
So, perform.
Yeah.
Go to work. Do something difficult. I have a good friend of mine, he says all the time, do more now, get better later.
Yeah.
Just do it. Under the belief that you also don't have to do it alone. If faith is important to you. And if it's not, I'd still encourage you. Go to work. Do something different. And if you don't like what you see in the mirror, why? Is it because you don't know how to communicate what it is that you see and you have the wrong words? For a long time, I had the wrong words. I thought sitting idly meant rest, and sitting idly was lazy, so rest is lazy, and I'm not lazy, so I don't rest. Because I had the wrong words, because I was illiterate. I was incapable of communicating in a way that could be understood even by myself.
Yeah.
No, rest is the ability to be present. Rest is the ability to be with for me. I am very rested when I am with my wife. We can work out together. We can walk together. We can read together. We can sit in bed together. We can eat a meal together. We can do a lot of things together. All of those are restful to me. Because to me, rest is being with. You said you rest when you are with God. In a variety of ways: walking, reading, sitting, praying, eating, talking, friends.
Yeah.
With. So maybe we don't like what we see in the mirror because we have the wrong words. Maybe I don't like what I see in the mirror because I look at myself and I use your words.
Yeah.
And maybe we look in the mirror and we don't like what we see because we've never done the work.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I always am kind of interested with my clients is they'll have these goals, right, of wanting to change their bodies, change their life. And then I will invite them to fitness events, different kinds. I'll invite them to dance classes. I'll invite them to big fitness events, all the things. And they'll say no. And it's fascinating to me. It's fascinating to me because the way that I'm wired, if I say that I want to do something, anything around that, I'm going to say yes to, even if it scares me, it terrifies me.
Right.
And as a coach right now, I'm being challenged to figure out a way to change that narrative where it's like, why do you say yes to brunch and popping bottles every single time when it makes you feel bad about yourself during and after? And then you go to fitness events. I've seen you go, you're smiling and you're happy. And when I ask you how you feel afterwards, you feel great. Why do you keep choosing the things that make you feel horrible? And why do you keep saying no after 2 years?
Yeah.
That's fascinating to me.
And I would say it goes to exactly what we just described. That's because I feel more worth when I am with them than I do when I am with me, because I'm giving them what they want.
Oof.
And I don't know how to give me what I want.
Oh, wow.
And it goes full circle back to the beginning.
Yeesh.
But it's a mental shift for us to find ourselves in.
Wow.
And I think that's true for all of us.
Knowing how to give other people what they need more than we know how to give what we need.
Absolutely.
I resonate with that so deeply because I've been that person for years.
Yeah, I'm still that person. I just try not to be.
On the day, it depends on the day. But we're at a place where I know how to take care of myself now. Yeah. But I had to go to therapy.
Yeah.
I had to go to scary things, terrifying things. And through doing so many terrifying things, I know how to take care of myself and how to water myself now.
Yeah.
But that was a journey.
Yeah.
And I am so passionate about bringing that aspect of things into my personal training.
Yeah.
I want to go with you to these events you're scared of, and I want to walk through that with you.
That's right.
So that you can have that experience and be like, I actually like that and I don't fully understand it, but I kind of want to do it again.
I'm willing I hear you say as to your clients, I'm willing to be with you while you find yourself so that when I leave, you're satisfied being alone.
Yes. And that's my thing is when we stop training together, I want you to do this because it's who you are. I don't want things to be some type of a short term. I want it to be a lifestyle.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a good mission.
Yeah.
I appreciate you being here.
Yes, this was awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. If you ever feel like you're on the journey yourself, where do I go? What do I do? How do I find my performance versus my worth versus what I do at work versus what I do with my friends? And where do I belong? And am I better at making sure you have what you need versus I have what I need? I would love for you to join me at the end of the month for leadership training. You can go to rockygarza.com/confidence. You can see it there. Invite your friends, invite your team. Most importantly, invite yourself. And we would love to see you there with us soon.
Thank you for listening to this week's podcast. Don't forget to join us this month for our leadership training. You can register you and your team at rockygarza.com/confidence.